Hello. Based by on Nick responding to me, I'm assuming that we have gone live. Let me go back to my welcome screen here. Hopefully the sound is okay. Oh, yay, Chris made it. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you're here. I was like bummed that I don't think you made it last time. And I really wanted you to swing by this time. So I apologize. I am like a little frazzled right now. I changed up my setup this time and tried to make the stream a little bit more stream-like. And I spent most of this morning like getting everything rolling, like watching a million tutorials, and then of course I didn't change anything. I didn't change a single thing, and my microphone wasn't working. So this is obviously through my little headphones microphone. So please let me know if music is too loud, music is too low, I'm too loud, I'm too low. I can adjust levels a little bit, so just holler in the chat. Oh, yay! We got Jen here. I know that Jen and Justin, is that how you say your name? Justin? It's like Justin, but with an E, I'm pretty sure. They watch my channel together, which is awesome. Oh, and Christmas with the Taylor household. Awesome. Yes, and one of my players from our D&D campaign. So thank you everyone for being here. Oh, and I want to give a huge shout out to we have the wonderful Paint to Life channel host in the chat. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, mosey on over to Paint to Life. It's an amazing channel. He combines like really quality mini painting with just amazing storytelling. So feel free to tell them a little bit more about yourself in the chat and link your channel in there. I think a lot of the people who are checking out this stream would probably enjoy your channel as well. So thank you so much for stopping by. And when we get into painting, I can ask for your help as well. So, well, anyway, I am, again, so thankful that you're all here and that you all decided to support me and become patrons. Like, it's super unreal. And I think I said it last time, like, this has obviously been like everybody's worst year. But starting this channel and making connections with a lot of y'all has, I don't know, gotten me through, you know, tough times for us all. I just cut my own hair, so that's like the most 2020 thing I could do to wrap up this year. I kind of regret it, but I think it's okay. I think it's like not totally mangled. But anyway, the plan for today, if you guys joined me for the last live stream, we remember we started painting Carl, my favorite little baby boy robot. I also have, oh, I actually think I have it drying out in the kitchen, but Miscast Trent, he sent me one of his plague trolls that he made, or not trolls, toads. Oh, trolls would be cool too though. So Trent sent me one of his plague toads from his Nurgle army. He made his own miniature and made some resin copies of them, and he mailed me one. And well, he actually mailed me two. One's glow in the dark though. We won't paint that one because we want to keep it glowing. But the other one is just white. So I really want to paint that one and kind of do like a bright pink purple vibe with it, because that's been his theme for his Nurgle army. So I kind of want to pay tribute to that. But I washed him off because, in case you guys aren't familiar, when you do a resin copy, if there's any release agent on that that copy, it's really hard to paint. So I'm not sure if Trent used that release agent, but just kind of being cautious, I gave the toad a little bath. So we'll grab him in a minute. And then the last thing I want to do today, if we have time, is I have a couple ideas that I want to work on for like kind of weird character art for nothing, just for funsies, but also character art for my Dungeons and Dragons character. I am playing as a GIF monk currently, and I want to sketch out some kind of like preliminary ideas for her, and then kind of I don't know, kind of do some really cool character art in the future for her. So maybe if we have time, I'll work on some sketching. So that's kind of the basic plan here. Let me get caught up on what everyone is saying. Oh, my hair is hitting the mic on the headphones. Sounds like other people are cutting their own hair. Okay, so we're calling you Jesse now, and Jesse shaved his own head yesterday. Solid choice. Nick's been shaving his own head. I know my friend Dave has been basically shaving his own head. So yeah, sure. You guys want me to just shave my head on this live stream? I think that would maybe be more interesting, right? So yeah, welcome to my head shaving live stream. Where should I start? Right down the middle? You know, because it's hitting my mic. I was like, where's my scrunchie? Of course, hint. So anyway, what should I start with? Should I start with Carl? Because that's where we left off. And kind of the reason I wanted to have a couple different projects in the works is last time I was like struggling. Oh, that looks crazy. I was struggling to paint Carl while I was talking to you all because, you know, paint needs to dry. Oh, you're going to bid on shaving my head? This is gonna be a fundraiser. We can raise money. If we raise $1 million today, I will shave my head on this live stream. So I don't know how we're donating money, but let's do it. Start a Patreon goal to shave your head. Like, getting more patrons, because I'm pretty sure it's like only patrons and like my family members in this stream. But sure. If we decide to shave my head, I'll need to switch to beer. But anyway. All right, so I think I'm just gonna start with Carl because he's here and the toad might be wet. So I'm about to switch camera views, which for me is exciting. For probably every other streamer in the world, that's like really normal, but for me is exciting. And again, if I switch over and something sounds really messed up or you can't hear me or whatever, this is obviously a very professional stream, so just let me know and I will try to fix it. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Chris, are you saying I shouldn't shave my head? I appreciate that. I'm glad someone wants me to keep my hair around. So it's been a month since we saw young Mr. Carl, and believe it or not, he got pretty dusty in the meantime. My friend Alex, I was inviting her to the stream today. I don't think she's in here yet. I haven't seen her, but I don't know if she's going to make it. But she was suggesting I make a Django robot sculpture, which sounds pretty darn cute. Trent Miscast, he was suggesting that I change the color of my hair for every season of YouTube, because I guess we're like, I don't know, we're pretending we're like seasons of Friends now, and like everybody gets a new haircut or hairstyle every season. So I don't know. I really like the blue. I don't really want to change the blue. I've been dyeing my hair and doing stupid stuff to my hair since I was very, very young. Since I was like probably 13, and blue has definitely been my favorite. So I think I'm gonna stick with it for a while. There's part of me that wants to do green, but I feel like green could either look really good or really, really bad. Opposite. The last time we saw Carl, I had started painting him, and I actually on the stream we had done red around his eyes, but I didn't like that, so I painted over it with blue. And I think I'm going to do the little upper arms here as blue as well. But I haven't really thought much about the like mid-panel buttons either. Like, I'm inclined to say they should be yellow. Like the little beep boop, little heartbeat thing should be yellow, but I don't know. Maybe I should just stick in like realms of red and blue. What do you guys think? Rack Season 1, Episode 2, the one with the buzz cut. Wouldn't it be Season 2? Hasn't Season 1 been blue hair? Or like, is the buzz cut the first chapter of the rest of my life? I don't know. And back to the Paint to Life channel. Again, check it out. If you're still in a festive mood, probably one of my favorite episodes that I've watched recently was about gingerbread men and kind of their backstory, their history that people don't really, you know, there's a lot of lore and backstory that go to gingerbread men. They're underrated. So definitely go check out that video. It's hilarious. I feel like I was like low-key super sad from that video and also crying and also laughing. So 10 out of 10 would recommend the Paint to Life gingerbread video. If you want to tell us the actual title of the video, I don't remember. Oh, excellent. Yes. Here we go. Nice. Oh, I don't... It's saying the message is held for review, but I'm saying you can show it. I just made you a moderator, so hopefully that will let you add the link in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's like I mentioned before, this is, last time I did my stream on my phone, that was professional. This time we've got a program, we've got a little Django cam, we got the chat going, we're probably gonna crash my computer, we got a cam link. It's a beautiful world of technology. Anyway, all right, so let me know in the chat what color we think the like panel and the buttons should be, if you have some opinions there. I'm kind of, I don't know yet, but I'm gonna start painting the little upper arms first. And I'm like trying to remember, I could easily go and rewatch my last video, but like which blue did I use? Did I use the Citadel paint? I kind of feel like I did. Let me open it up and take a look at it. Maybe not. I have a lot of paints. There should be like a separate camera just like showing you all my terrible paints. I think maybe it was this blue. Yeah. Let's at least try it, you know? If I can't figure out what blue it was, we can always, I don't know, do a totally new blue. Silver with buttons, different colors. Oh, gosh, mock-ups in Photoshop. Oh, look, it's Alex. She's the one I was just telling you guys about who told me I should make a Django robot sculpture. So, hi, Alex. I'm sharing all your wonderful ideas before you even arrived. Yeah, maybe like some sort of metal kind of look to the panel would be awesome. Maybe like, I think maybe like these side buttons being red might be cute, or no. I think there should be some mirroring in at least one of the buttons as like some of the accent colors. I really enjoy like mirroring patterns and colors in things. Oh yeah. Cool. Great plug. So yeah, go check out Paint to Life. It is amazing. And like, if you're into mini painting, I think his channel is like really unique and different. I like mini painting, but like some of the channels that are just really dry, like painting for forever, I just like I can't take it. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's just not my jam. Obviously, I'm a loudmouth who talks too much, and I prefer listening to other people who talk a lot too. So let's give this a try. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same blue. It just looks a lot deeper on the eyes because I had painted over that red I did last time, and I think there's multiple coats at this time. At this point, I did some secret painting when you guys weren't looking. So Alex is much like me. I'm like, I guess I'm still technically young, but I'm also kind of an old soul in certain ways. And Alex is an old soul in that she's really bad at technology. Sorry to put you on blast. Yeah, friends, come watch my live stream and I'll make fun of you. Pretty cool setup. I'm not used to the camera setup, and it's like opposite in my mind. It's like working with a mirror. So one thing I've been kind of thinking about that I wanted to ask some of y'all, especially like since this stream is mainly just my patrons, who most of you all are so creative and like really artistic as well. Like Chris has an amazing Etsy and sent me some really cool stuff, which I can show you all later. And you know what, Chris? Because I'm talking about this now, maybe I'll link your Etsy somewhere when we're done here. You make some really cool stuff. But one thing I've been thinking about, because everyone loves to make New Year's resolutions and be super cliche and things like that, was just thinking about like artistic goals. And that's something I've never really given myself. But I feel like that might be a good thing for me to set this year, like especially with like the YouTube channel. Like maybe I could have certain projects or certain types of videos I want to set goals to do. But I'm also wondering, I guess this is a two-part question in my rambling delivery of it. One, do you have any artistic goals in mind for 2021? Like any big projects you want to do, anything you want to get better at, any techniques you want to learn? And is there anything you would really like to see me attempt on a channel or in Instagram land or whatever medium you want? I'm really excited to get our Discord rolling in January, because I think that will be a really good community for us to build up and like share our works in progress, and just kind of come up with project ideas. So yeah, I would love to hear in the chat, what are your goals artistically for 2021 and what you would like to see on the channel. I am stoked that Philip is here. Better late than never is certainly correct, and you missed it. I almost shaved my head, so you missed some good fun for sure. Cute. Look how cute that looks, even with just the little arms being colored out a little bit. I kind of feel like I want to jump around a little bit just for the sake of like streaming and getting things done and like kind of seeing the final project. Like I kind of want to start painting his eyes too. You can tell me if you disagree with me, but I kind of think that these eyeballs should be like a golden yellow. Yeah? No? Yeah? The book writing is a very good creative goal. That is something I really admire. Like, I mean, I can write, obviously. Like, I was a communications major in college, so, like, I took a lot of writing classes, but, like, I'm not someone who expresses myself in that way, and I think it's really fascinating. People who write poetry or novels or any really creative writing is really cool. Oh, Sarah wants to get into painting. Sarah is Ryan's better half, completely his better half. I don't think anyone would disagree with that, not even Ryan. But that's awesome that she wants to paint and draw. Oh, thanks for the shout out to Carl being adorable. I have no goals, just go with the flow. That's kind of a goal in itself, though, just to kind of be flexible, because I know sometimes I get really caught up in certain things. Like, I've always kind of been an athletic person, and when I was running a lot, I would get so caught up on one specific goal, like a certain speed or something, that like it kind of just took the joy away from it. So I would argue that going with the flow could be a goal for certain personality types. But good for you either way. Golden eyes. Okay, glad you're on board with golden eyes, Kristen. Photography. I want to learn more about photography as well. I don't want to get into necessarily darkroom stuff, but like, as I shared before, I really love creating videos, and I actually really do love the editing process. The filming process is like kind of tricky for me, and I don't really know anything about photography, so that's really where I have a lot of learnings to do. So I want to learn more about that as well, and maybe Alex can teach me something. Gold, bright yellow. Hello, Rob. Welcome. Yeah, also Phillips let me read a couple of chapters of his book. It's also like just really visual sci-fi coolness in addition to his complex themes that he outlined there. All right, golden eyes. Yeah, because gold and blue and orange and blue, those are kind of like contrasting colors, you know? This? Or is that too dark? Too dark, probably. Let's see. What else do I have? I almost feel like potentially mixing like this darker yellow with one of the more vibrant yellows might be a good way to go. I feel like people probably, mini painters especially, probably hate me for like my paint practices. So I just put my hand in the paint because I am new to mini painting, but I've always enjoyed painting, like even as a kid, and I have this vast collection of paints, as you can see, that are very variable in quality, but like to me there's no reason to throw those out because they're still usable. But I also just always grew up using like a regular palette, and I know that's not the most efficient thing, and I should use a wet palette. Maybe I should do a video about it. Maybe that would convince me to start using it. As I could do an experiment or something. But I do really enjoy mixing colors. Like that's one of my favorite things. I took a lot of color theory classes in college. I never talk about college, and I brought it up twice today, which is like weird. Oh, thank you, Jesse. Yeah, And Jen, I know he said you're watching. He told me in a message that you were quite the editor and you're helping him figure out how to get his YouTube channel going as well. And Justin wants to get into music. Oh yeah, section hikes would be dope. I would really love to do like a D&D like camp out meetup someday. Obviously we can't do it now because of like the world. But I think it would be really cool to like pick some destination and like, hey, if you're outdoorsy and you like Dungeons and Dragons, let's go hang out. But yeah, I feel you. It's hard having enough time, Chris. This is directed at Chris's comment, to like live our normal lives and then also create in the way that we want. Like, for better or for worse, my schedule has been all over the place this year and my job has really changed. I actually already shared this with Chris, but because we've worked in similar like outdoor industries, but I just resigned from my like career of like 7+ years, which is like maybe sounds a little stupid in the time of coronavirus, but just things had changed so much, and working for a big company through all of this like really sucked. So I'm going to start working in January for my friend part-time who has a small local business, and I'm thankful for that because one, it's nice to have something when you're making a big jump, but like two, it'll be like the first time in a really long time, like as an adult, that I am working just part-time. So I'm really excited to have some time to like catch up on projects that I've wanted to do. And it's really scary, like financially, like doing this for a while, like just working part-time with the real job for a while. But I kind of feel like I'm just taking a break from life to focus on the things I really care about and like kind of recenter and hopefully create some really good things. And I know that's not an opportunity that everyone gets, so I'm trying to be thankful for it, even though I'm like super scared about it. But anyway, I agree with you, Chris, that it's really hard to do the projects you want to do all the time. And I think that the work I've seen of yours, for someone who works full time, like I don't know how you do it. Chris just made a 2020 dumpster diorama. It's on his Instagram. It's really funny. You guys should go check it out. So many talented patrons and friends in the chat. I'm glad to hear, Philip, that I'm not the only one with the crazy mishmash of paint. Don't get me wrong, I think the Citadel paints and like the paints specifically meant for mini painting are generally like really good. Like I was impressed by the quality of them, but like the price for the amount of paint you get is ridiculous. And I try to be as sustainable as I can in like all aspects of my life, which isn't always easy in craftland. But there's no reason to throw out perfectly good paint when you can still use it. Maybe you have to like, sometimes with like certain weights of acrylics, you have to add in mediums or whatnot, but they're still totally usable. And, you know, lots of people would probably kill for a paint collection like this. Yeah, but I will say the one thing that I have been the most impressed by my mini specific paints are, I do love the washes. The washes are super cool. You can make your own washes, but like there's something about the Nuln Oil and some of the other ones that are just like, they kind of create this really awesome gloss that I haven't been able to make with my own wash. Yeah, if I was trying to paint like a big sculpture with a little pot of Citadel paint, like you are absolutely correct. Like, ooh, I would blow through that. Like, I have so many things of black paint. And if I was just going off those little Citadel pots, I'd be spending a fortune. Oh, Jesse, your story about your dog reminds me, I mentioned it in Patreon, but Django yesterday, and I told Jesse I would share some other Django sagas, so I apologize for always derailing everything that I'm doing in my own stream. But Django, we just went through the whole rigmarole of this dog being diagnosed with epilepsy, right? And like that really sucks, and it's been super scary, but like I'm super glad that there's an answer and there's a method to like keep him safe and happy. And that all started September through like this past month is basically when it got figured out. But yesterday, Django, whose fur is still healing, still growing back from when he was just put under at the vet, got something in his eye and we couldn't get it out. And we take him to the emergency vet again. It's to the point where like I legitimately asked the vet if I could have like some frequent visitor punch card. Half as a joke, but half as a reality. Because in addition to the seizure and the eyeball issue, he has been there 2 other times. He got a bone stuck on his lower jaw once, like behind his teeth, blocking his airway, like a hollow bone. And that was like at like 11 p.m. And then another time he jumped off a wall and he wasn't using one of his legs, like he hurt his little leg. So like, I mean, other than the epilepsy, he's a very healthy, very hardy dog. And we're hoping that like with some diet changes, the seizures will get a lot better. But this dog is a wrecking ball. So I love him. He's my best friend. But if anyone is thinking about getting an Australian Shepherd, do so with caution. This is the yellow I made. It looks really orange on camera, but it's way more yellow in my view. So just take my word for it there. Monuments Pro Acrylic. Good to know. Citadel paints are good quality for a terrible price. Yeah, that seems about right. I haven't tried any Vallejo stuff, but I have heard pretty good things. I think Vallejo, I want to say someone told me that they make really good like water effects, which I'm interested in learning more about. Oh yeah, dogs, man. You had a friend who Aussie lost their teeth from chewing rocks. That sounds about right. But yeah, Nick is right. If we didn't have Django, what else would be going on this year? He's our biggest source of stress, but also our biggest source of joy. Yeah. This yellow is like, it's so good. I just don't feel like it looks as good on the camera as it does to me. Trust me. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Trying to think, do we want to start trying to paint the belly panel? Let me grab my paint basket. Hold on. Okay, very professional paint basket. I have this gold. I feel like this sucks. We'd maybe have to test that one. My local art store is like super awesome. And they give me like free stuff all the time. And I have a bunch of like really random golden paints. Have you guys heard of the brand Golden? It's really high quality stuff, and it's not too expensive. But they make a lot of like really weird things, or maybe it's just my local art store carries all their weirdest stuff. But they gave me a bunch of their colors that are like super beautiful, but like kind of hard to see. This kind of looks the same as Carl's blue in the camera, but in real life, this is like a kind of like that like fake ocean color, and it's beautiful. It's just like one of those things where like, what do I use this for? This is a weird color. And then they also gave me this very, very bright pink. Oh, I feel like you can kind of tell on the camera just how bright that is. And this was part of my inspiration for finally getting around to painting that plague toad. Is I think this is gonna be great pink for it. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to do in terms of like that metallic color. I don't have anything I love. Like my like metallics are unfortunately not some of my better paints. They're some of my like cheaper paints. But maybe, I wonder, let's see. See what this looks like. Because part of me is like, oh, that actually looks kind of better than I thought, that gold. Part of me is like, I wonder what this would look like over top of the normal gold. Let's see. I wish I had a piece of paper handy to test it on. I don't know. We'll test it in my sketchbook. That's fine. Oh, I do have a little piece of paper in here. Perfect. Chris, I don't know. Did I know that you have an Aussie as well? I feel like everyone has an Aussie. They're very popular. And Alex has a Kelpie, which is super smart too. I was laughing really hard because I sent Alex this this little article popped up in my Apple News that was about like the smartest dog breeds, and Kelpies were in there, but Aussies were in there too, and it was like, yeah, they're really smart, they're very trainable, but they're tons of trouble or something. And like in the last sentence was like, they're not for everyone. And at least for Django, that's very true. Like my parents really want to get a dog, and my parents are huge animal people. They've always had cats. They're the type of people who like rescue stray dogs and like find good homes for them, but like they could not handle an Aussie. Like it's just too much work. And the thing about at least my Aussie is he is very trainable. He's very smart, but he knows the rules, and he also knows when he's breaking the rules, and he knows like how far he can push it, which I'm sure a lot of dogs are that way, but it's very frustrating. Like even when we're on a walk, like he's not pulling the leash, but he's like walking at the end of the leash, like right before he could. So it's going to look a little bit different on Carl than it is on this paper, but I'm testing that yellow and putting a little bit of gold over it to see if that would be a good option for the panel. Oh. I do actually like that. Cute. Yeah, I am going to do more paint on the belly. I'm kind of, in case you missed this, Philip, I'm kind of just like plopping in the colors to kind of block that out, because that feels a little bit more interesting for Streamland, so you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this. And last time after the stream, I also did a little bit more painting, because I feel like the color of this clay, this pink clay, is like so distinct. Like no matter what I do, with the exception of the red, actually looks very vibrant, but red is such a strong pigment. I think every shade I paint on this little Carl bot, I'm going to have to do multiple coats of it to really get that pink hue to vaporize. Yeah, the pink is like very bright. And it would be a good nail polish. Yeah, Jack Russells are probably one of the few dogs that might have more energy than an Aussie. Border Collies, somehow even smarter than Aussies. I know that's what they say, but I don't know how a dog could be even smarter. Giraffes are actually my favorite animal. I got to pet a giraffe once, and that was a very magical moment for me. Oh, Ranger and Slick. Those are cool names. Yeah, Alex agrees. Carl has 3 feet. Yes, good catch. I feel like in the videos I made of Carl, like when I was sculpting him and making the molds of Carl, you couldn't see that he had 3 feet. Originally, I only wanted him to have 2, but the third one you can't really see it when he's standing. And it just made him so much more stable that it felt like a necessary evil. I might have mentioned this last time, but I really love the Carl, and sculpting Carl was kind of my first time deciding to make a mold of something as well. And I really do love the Carl sculpt, but I didn't sculpt him with the intention to make a mold of him. And the issue with him is he's got like pretty deep divots around his neck, and even the 3-leg thing was kind of an issue. So the mold of Carl is like really crappy, and I want to make another Carl. Like I think it'll be really easy to sculpt a new version of him and make more copies of him, because I think it'd be super fun to have like a little fleet of robots, and it's just so cute. I feel like he's very appealing to a lot of people, and I'd love to give him the gifts to like everyone. Bye, Dave. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah. Oh, where is it? I'll have to, when I get up again, I'll get it. But like I mentioned earlier, Chris Smith sent me a bunch of really, really cool stuff. And one of the things he sent me was a little sketch of Carl did have fingers. I feel like I want to make like a family of robots, and maybe Carl's like the simple one who just has little lobster claws, but maybe he has a big brother who's got little robot hands. And his feet can move around so he can reach high places. That's very like Inspector Gadget kind of vibe. All right, I'm gonna paint this middle panel gold or yellow with the gold over it. And you know, the nice thing about this is if I hate it, I can just redo it. Oh, but here's the question. Hold on. I just have a smart idea before I do that. I want the little zigzag to be a different color. I think I want it to be blue. So my plan here is I'm gonna try to get this in here real good and then wipe off the excess to cover in yellow. And I'm kind of, this happened to me last time and I don't really know why, but I must have gotten something on the clay. There's like parts of this clay that like, it's probably not visible on the stream as I stop talking, but like parts of the clay kept like making the paint bead up and I'm not sure why. Cute. Yeah. So see my plan there, I kind of wiped off the excess and that way the little heartbeat has some color down in it. I'm kind of addicted to these stevia sodas and they're probably killing me, but could be worse. Can you guys hear the squeaker? Django's must be running around squeaking something. Oil in the clay? Maybe. It's just like the weird thing is like it's not everywhere. Like as I've been painting Carl, like the paint has been beating up in just certain places, which makes me think that I got something on it. Or maybe like when I was sculpting, like certain spots, my hands were like more oily than others, or I don't know. When polymer clay is not cured, it's very absorbent. Like if you have oil or dirt or something on your little cutting mat, it does get kind of gross kind of fast. Alex, I'm glad you like the music. The one nice thing about having to use these headphones is I can actually hear the music. When I had my nice microphone set up, that spontaneously stopped working, unfortunately. I had it set up in a way that I couldn't hear the music, which was like kind of sad because I'm a very musical person and it helps me get through any activity. Not that it's hard to get through a stream. I really enjoy this actually, and like I'm tempted to figure out a way that I can manage doing more than one stream a month. But I'm excited that I can hear it. Ooh, this looks so bad right now because the paint isn't mixing together, but because there's that little bit of blue wash from where I wiped it off, it looks really gross and like green. But I think it will look better as I do more coats because yellow is just always so thin. Like you always have to do like a million coats of yellow before it looks the way you want. And I don't want the paint to be super thick. So I'm actually wiped off the brush and I'm trying to get some of that excess off. Like Carl's a simple sculpt, but I will say it's like, it's kind of an annoying painting something so flat because like there isn't much to work with in terms of the texture. You can see how green that looks. But it's not actually green because the paint was mixing, because I had wiped off all that excess blue and there was just that little blue tint there. It looks really green when I put the yellow over it, but I'm pretty confident that as I paint it some more, it is going to look, it'll cover it up and be fully yellow as intended. Trying to think about the buttons. Man. Here are the options I'm thinking for the buttons. I either want to do this button, like a bright green, or I want to do this button red and the two little buttons the same blue. Oh, yay! Paint to Life getting a sub. So yeah, all of y'all better head over there and subscribe. Okay, so again, the question was, do I want to do this guy as a bright green, like think lime green or something like that? Or do I want to do it red and then do blue? Okay. I am briefly going to go grab the Nurgle toad, the plague toad. I will be right back. And in the meantime, I'll be back in like 10 seconds, but you can take a look at this really cute picture. Okay, I'm back. That was a picture of Django with his very good friend Sam. Sam is the biggest golden retriever I have ever seen. And Django, the only time, Django's not a flight risk for all his crazy antics. He like definitely doesn't want to run away from mom or dad. But the one time he made a break for it, he was following Sam. So they're very good dog friends. I'm just drying off this little toad here. This is the plague toad that Trent miscast sculpted for his Nurgle army. And in case you missed it, I had washed him off because he's a resin copy, and I wasn't sure if Trent had used any mold release in his silicone mold, because mold release agent or like any type of oil is going to make it just super hard to paint. So I gave him a little bath, and he's still a little wet, but I think he's fine to paint. We can deal with water. We can't deal with mold release agent. Red and blue. Red. Okay. So let's get this little toad out of here. Let's paint these buttons. The other thing too is, again, I can't really remember which red this was. I don't think it was this Citadel paint, but I'm gonna open it up and double check. Yeah, this is the Citadel paint is more like, it looks more like real blood. So if you're looking for that, highly recommend. Oh, yeah, there you go. Slow autofocus. So I have two other reds it could have been. Again, this is a problem I could have solved by taking a short look at my last live stream and seeing what I used. I kind of feel like it was this paint. This like crappy paint. Because this one is so heavy body. I would be surprised if I had used that one. But I could be wrong. Oh, goodness, I just spilled that everywhere. You can't hide anything in the stream. It's the nice thing about edited videos. Is you can be like, oh, that paint drip, that wasn't perfect, so let me refilm it. But the stream, you guys can see everything. You know, everything that I'm up to. pretty sure it was that red. We'll find out. Again, if it wasn't... See, that same thing is happening where it's like... I don't think it's like too much water on the brush. It could be. Here, I'm gonna try to wipe it off. It's just that same kind of thing I was describing earlier where it's like it's acting like there's oil on there and it's just kind of rolling off of Carl more than I would like. But also maybe I didn't use this paint because this looks very light. But it's kind of nice to kind of be a sneak peek of what that's going to look like with the red. And I feel good about that. Okay, all right. Let's let that very thin layer dry for a second. And in the meantime, let's do another layer of that yellow. It's another thing where it's like, when I'm editing a YouTube video, I make sure that like tissues or like scrap papers are not in the shot, but like it's a necessary part of most projects, and I can't hide in the stream. I once dated a Carl who isn't nearly as cute as this Carl. I once worked with a Carl who was such a doll, but very strange. But he also sold me my first mountain bike, so thank you, human Carl, wherever you are. Yeah, the plague toad, well, is really cool. Can we give him some more love? Come on, camera, focus. There we go. I was so excited when I got these in the mail. And there's a video, I already linked it in the description actually, and I'll link Mike's channel and Chris's Etsy in the description as well in case you guys want to check that out later. But Trent made a really great video about sculpting the toad, so you should mosey on over and check that out after the stream. Yeah, I will say, to respond to Philip's comment about nice brushes, is I will say, like, these brushes they're Princeton brand, which I had never had before, but my local art store recommended them to me, and I really love an angled brush for whatever reason. I just use it for way too many things, but I love these, and I have several of these. But I personally am also a destroyer of brushes. Like, I love to dry brush things and like splatter things, so I feel like it's nice to buy like one of those big things of kind of crappy brushes and then like have your like 3 to 5 special brushes. That would be my advice. Okay, let's try to get some more yellow on here. Yeah, this yellow is just so thin. I'm gonna have to do so many coats of it. But this is like exactly the shade I wanted. I've also started getting in the habit of, like, when I do mix too many paints, I never used to do this, but now, you know, trying to save the planet and my crafting supplies, I try to put them in a little jar and save them for later. Like, let's see here. When I was working on my book nook, I made these 2 just absolutely lovely colors, and they probably shouldn't be in the same jar, but I just didn't have the heart to wash those down the drain, so I saved them. This still looks so gross with like the blue undertone, but it's getting there. And I'm trusting the process of eventually this yellow will have enough coverage. But it looks really cute. So cute. Okay. Again with the squeaking. I don't know if you guys can hear the squeaking, but Django got a new toy for Christmas, and it looks like a little tiny broccoli. And it is the loudest squeaker I've ever heard. But it's so cute, and it fills him with so much joy. So cute. Oh, you know what I forgot totally last time, and I even pulled them out at the start of this because they're not really attached, but the little antennas. Antennae. I think they should be red, right? 100%. Like, I'm asking, but I'm also telling you they just need to be red. So let us actually try this other red, the heavy body. That I was like, oh, it couldn't possibly be the heavy body paint. Sorry if I keep looking up. I'm like looking to see how my camera battery is doing since I've never done this before. I have no idea how long my camera battery will actually last in this situation. You know, as I mentioned, like I really enjoy this, and I feel like I'm in this like really special time in my life where I can really commit to crafting and streaming and YouTubing, and that's really special and awesome. So I am trying to get a little better with every stream, every video, and there's a lot that goes into all of it. Some of it interesting, some of it tedious. And one thing I need to get is the fancy real streamers. They get like fake battery packs that go in their camera that let you plug it into the wall, which is like pretty neat. And like honestly, something I can probably use most of the time, because even when I'm just filming a normal YouTube video, like 9 times out of 10 I'm just sitting almost in the exact same spot. So I'm excited to get one of those and not have to stare up at my camera wondering when the battery's gonna die. I'm trying to keep the brushes, like I don't want to mix any. I've been kind of going back and forth with like the brush I've been using for yellow or for blue, but I don't want to mess with the yellow one because the yellow is just such a fair color. But I feel like the blue and red, as long as I clean it, it's okay. I feel like certain colors, like a yellow brush, when I'm in projecting, I cannot risk getting another paint on there, but like more vibrant colors, I feel like as long as you like really swish them around your little water cup, you can make it work. I don't know, that red doesn't look exactly right to me either. But it might just be because I just haven't done as many layers yet. But I like how that looks a lot. I'm gonna... Oh, I know what I'll do. Clever. Although there's barely enough to stick in there. It's not super helpful. I think it'll just be just as easy for me to hold it. I was like, what a great idea. But it's not very stable. I wanted to like paint both of them at once. So kind of circling back to what I was chatting about earlier about the kind of artistic goals for next year. Outside of YouTube, one thing I've always wanted to do, but I don't know, I've always been like kind of artistic, but like I've never put much effort into it until like the last like year or so. But I've always like dreamed of like having a gallery show, like not even anything fancy. Like I just want to like be able to like invite my friends and be like, hey, there's this really hip gallery downtown that you know, just me and a couple other artists are being displayed. And that is something I want to try to achieve in 2021. And part of me is like thinking that could be paintings. I do really love to paint, and I haven't done a ton of like normal paintings on my YouTube channel, but I have a pretty cool series of mountains that I've done and like outer space stuff. So that's an option. But lately, and like something I've kind of like discovered a huge love for through my channel is sculpting. And my Monster Bash monster I made this year is like my favorite thing I've ever made. Like I'm obsessed with that monster. I love her. And I think it would be so cool to like continue making some monsters and have like a collection that could be on display in a gallery. Like, I think it would be so cool, like the contrast of like maybe there's like some contemporary, more traditional art in the gallery, but then there's like, oh, this monster exhibit by Raquel. So that's like one of my goals. It's really just a very baby goal at this point, because I don't even know like what type of galleries in town would like are open to people to even apply to like have their work displayed. The one closest to my house is like super cool, and I like go into when it's safer to like go about town, but they are like a co-op, which is interesting. So like you have to volunteer to even like try to get selected to have your art displayed, which I think is a cool idea, but like I don't know, like the requirements are like kind of steep, so we shall see if I go after that one. That antenna can sit there and wait while I do the other one. I accept your red. Hold on, I'm moseying over to this chat for a second. It got away from me. Yeah, most brushes do start nice and then just kind of go downhill. I'm glad you guys can't hear the squeaks, but I'm also kind of sad you guys can't hear the squeaks because they're kind of funny. Yeah, I hate the flesh-colored clay. I've gotten a lot of comments on like all of my sculpting videos about the color of that Super Sculpey. Super Sculpey is like the best texture. It's the best clay. Sculpey, if you're listening to this, I would like to be sponsored. Contact me. Hello, I'm available. I don't feel like they sponsor anyone except maybe like Ace of Clay, who's incredible. But I love the clay. It has like changed my sculpting life. But the color, there are other colors that exist, but it is so hard to find it. Like I actually just ordered like a small fortune worth of Sculpey direct from Sculpey because I couldn't find it anywhere. And even my local art store, like they're really awesome. And like I said, they love me and they like give me free stuff, which is always super cool. But they also like, I also just spend a ton of my money there. But they order stuff for me all the time when I ask. I'm always like, you need to get this. Trust me, people will want it. And like most of the time I'm right. Maybe not, but they've ordered some stuff for me and it's been really great working with them. But they cannot get the gray Sculpey. And so I had to order it direct from them, which is fine. Like I want to support them because they're making like such a great product, but it's also like so much more expensive getting it direct from Sculpey for some reason. I mean, not so much more. It's like $3 more, but when you're a peasant who just quit her job, you know. Look at that. So cute. Oh man, that makes me so inspired. I feel inspired that I inspired you to sculpt. Like, it's like this inspiration circle. And the hand was from, correct me if I'm wrong, but the hand you sculpted was from the gingerbread video too. Yeah? Yeah. I think I'm not mixing that up, because you also sculpted something with the other Santa monster. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but another great Paint to Life video. But yeah, the eyes of the eagle helmet I made was really fun because it was made out of cosplay, which, if you guys haven't seen that video already, cosplay is another type of polymer clay that is, it cures way more flexible. Like, Carl is like, I don't want to say solid as a rock because he's definitely more brittle. Like, if I dropped him on the ground, he would not fare well. But cosplay, you work with it very similar to any other polymer clay, any other Sculpey, but when it cures, it has a really great flex. Like, it actually isn't uncomfortable wearing it on my face because it's so flexible. But the one thing I didn't like about it, which I don't even think I talked about it in my video, so cosplay, and if you're listening too, in addition to Sculpey, all the clay brands, I apologize, but the cosplay straight up smelled terrible when it was baking in my oven, which I've never really experienced that with Sculpey, so that's like a little concerning, but it's also like, I guess it kind of makes sense because it's more of like a rubber material. It's still supposed to be non-toxic and everything, but word to the wise, I do recommend cosplay. I definitely will use it again, but it will smell terrible. So, like, maybe if you live in a small apartment, it might not be the crafting material for you. Coffee shops are a good idea. There is one within walking distance to me that normally has like some art displayed, but that would have to be, I feel like for coffee shops, that would have to be more like paintings and not so much the sculptures, or at least the ones that like I can think of off the top of my head. But that's a good idea. It's just so hard because it's like you can't really scout anything out right now. So it is a goal for 2021 to get my stuff into some sort of gallery or display setting, but also I might not be able to make moves on that until later in the year. So we shall see. Yeah, regular Sculpey just is not, the only thing regular Sculpey is good for is to put under your super Sculpey when you don't want to use too much. Haha, take that, regular Sculpey. Sick burn. Yeah, kryptonite. Has anyone ever used monster clay? That is something that I'm very interested in trying. It just looks really crazy. Like, people like microwave it. Man, this looks so bad. I'm almost like tempted to be like, maybe I should do like backtrack. Like, maybe we should retrace our steps here and to try to get rid of that green tint. Paint some white, because I have a pretty heavy body white I could use. I was so excited to use that gold, and I poured some out too, but that might not be in the cards for today if I can't get enough of this yellow layer on there. Other 2021 goals that I have, and like I kind of want to share, my next big project, but I also kind of don't, because like I think it's so good that I'm like, I feel like one of those YouTube weirdos where I'm like, I don't want to tell anyone my projects because I don't want them to steal my projects. But it's also like really weird and obscure, so like the likelihood of someone stealing my project idea is probably slim, but I'm still not going to tell you. But but what I will tell you is I am going to probably, starting in mid-January, start a really big kind of D&D based project, or D&D inspired. It's actually not something I'm going to use in gameplay, but it's going to have D&D monsters, and I think it's probably going to be at least like a 3 video endeavor, because it's going to take me a while, and depending like what direction I go with it, could take even more than that. It's gonna have monsters, it's gonna have sculpting, it's gonna have resin casting, and silicone molds and resin casts. I've only done the silicone molds and like resin copies one time when I made Carl, and like I was saying earlier, like it didn't go super well, but I feel like because it was such a disaster, I learned a ton, and I think with like my next go around of doing that, it'll go a lot better. So it's going to be a necessary evil in this next project I have planned. So I'm going to put Carl aside for a minute. I still want you guys to look at him, look at his cuteness, even when we're not working on him. And again, looking at the camera. Every now and then I see it like blink something at me, but I don't think it's the battery. But we'll know, we'll see it. If my camera goes blank, we'll get a nice rainbow in its place, which is kind of fun too. But I want to start working on this little plague troll. I keep calling it a troll, but it's a toad. Maybe he's a toad that turns into a troll. That would be cool. Ah, yes, Crush Kringle. That's what he was called, which is a great name. Yeah, we should totally do a collab sometime. That would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, 3-part series. So, the awesome thing, I know, I'm trying to think of like how long, because Chris, Jesse, Philip, you guys have been like commenting on my videos for so long, and just off the top of my head, like there might be more of you who've been there from the beginning, but that's who I see in the chat right now. Like seriously, like I remember seeing your screen names and like you guys following me on Instagram like so early on, which is amazing. And the interesting thing is like, there's like part of me is like, as like a budding YouTuber who's like really scared to do like multi-video projects, because I feel like, I don't know if the internet likes that. Like I feel like the internet like wants, you know, they want to sit down for 10 minutes and they want to see you create something amazing, and they don't want to see you cry. They don't want to see your disgusting paint tissues. But I will say that my first video that kind of did well on its own, like without any of my amazing successful YouTube friends sharing me, was my my castle, my Curse of Strahd Castle Ravenloft castle I made. And that was just, that project was like a lot. Like it was my first time ever making terrain, and it was probably one of the most like iconic and difficult things I could have chosen. So I don't know what I was thinking. I'm really glad I did it though, because I learned a lot and it was really fun, and it was a really cool piece to have in our campaign. But that project was 3 videos, and that I kind of hated that it was 3 videos, and I felt really nervous about it. But like the second one of those videos, my first video that like kind of started getting views, and then once that video kind of took off, then people were like, well, let's see part 1 and let's see part 3. So I'm excited to like do something longer and like kind of experiment with like, does the internet like that? Like, does the internet want to sit down and watch all of those? So we'll find out. And this next project is really great. And I also think my videos are much better now than when I was making the Curse of Strahd project, the Castle Ravenloft. So I'm hopeful for that. And also, maybe this should be a 2021 goal for me. I did love that castle, but I know in like the short time that I'm building more terrain, I could do so much better. Like I could do a much better job. So maybe let's pencil that into the list of 2021 artistic goals is redoing Castle Ravenloft. Even though we're done with that campaign, I still feel like I could do it better. And in case anyone's wondering what happened to the Castle Ravenloft after the campaign, it was pretty massive, and I just can't have so many things in my house. So I gave it to my good friend Silas, who is 8 years old, and he is just an amazing, smart little boy. He is the son of my friend Kirby, so if you guys are watching, hi Silas. And Silas is currently making me something in exchange for the castle that I gave to him as a gift. So I'm really glad that the castle found a very deserving home where it's getting a lot more love and attention than I was giving it once I was done with the campaign. Solid point. I'm glad to hear that you guys sound like you're fans of like a series of videos and, you know, Star Wars, the Ultimate Trilogy. We can't forget that. Very important. Good highlight. Yeah, storage space. My house is very small. Like one day I'll have to do like, I feel like a soda commercial right now. One day I'll have to do like a little tiny mini tour so you can understand like how small my space is and how it's kind of hard to decide like what art projects you keep and what you don't. So I think I mentioned it early on, but I'm redundant, so we'll mention it again. Trent's Nurgle army is kind of like this, like he's been using a really cool like pink tone to a lot of his things. And I kind of want to do like a spin on that for this toad. I am thinking, I'm trying to think what makes more sense. Like I want it to have like strong pink undertones, but still be really grungy. So I'm just thinking if it makes sense to do like the base is the pink and then layer on more, or if I should do dark. Like most of the time I feel like doing dark to light is good, but it's kind of hard to describe the vision I have for it. So I'm just gonna go for it. It's fine, you know, whatever. I'm sorry, Trent, if I ruin your beautiful toad, but again, nice thing about acrylic paint is it's pretty easy to just keep painting over it over and over again. Okay, so, sorry again, just catching up on your your chat. And I think the delay is like with the software, it's a little bit more than when I'm just streaming from my phone. So, but this is the pink. Ah, man, it's funny because this is not as vibrant as it looks in camera. So this is the really bright pink that I want to use to highlight, but this is the pink I want to kind of do as my base here for this toad. I feel like my streams are ending up just being like, hey, here's a stream of this girl doing like a little tiny bit of several different projects. But I guess that's what a lot of streamers do. Oh man, I feel like this is gonna be so satisfying, putting this first little swipe of paint on here. It's always so satisfying. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat watch hair dyeing videos. Probably not, but as someone with blue hair, I enjoy watching those types of videos as well. And like, the first time someone puts a bright hair color on like blonde hair is so satisfying. And it's kind of the same situation here. All right, so let's all get ready. Yeah. Oh, that looks so good. I feel really great about this choice already. I love the idea of like a kind of scaly, bumpy toad that's like a super girly pink color. I mean, it's gonna end up being like more grungy than this, but I love this already. Man. Oh, another thing that like I'm really excited for, which I just shared on my Instagram, some really cool digital art, but Jessie made a digital drawing of my bird monster. She needs a name. She needs like some proper monster name. But he did like an excellent job, and it made me so happy to see him make that art of her. And I was recently, well, a while ago, I was gifted a hand-me-down MacBook Pro, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this like right away. And I never did. Been sitting in a closet. But then for Christmas to myself, I ordered myself an Apple Pen, and I am so excited about the possibilities of like digital drawing, drawing with 2 L's. That's how you pronounce it. But I've been using this app, Procreate, and I kind of suck at it currently, but I'm really excited to get good at it. And I just like, I'm super excited for like the possibilities of like character art and just all sorts of things. Man, how good does this pink look? I'm obsessed with it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Oh, bye. Thanks for stopping by. Everyone go follow Paint to Life. And thanks for, I didn't really mean to make you the moderator, but thanks for being the moderator for a little bit. I appreciate it. At least it made it so you could share links. And we'll definitely be in touch about some sort of collab. I would love that. That would be so fun. Oh, Kristen. I'm glad you like the pink. Oh man, Chris, you've dyed your hair every color too? Nice. I just, like I mentioned earlier, I just cut my own hair, and I almost bleached my own hair again, which, you know, I've actually gotten some comments, and maybe some of them from you, but like since my hair has been growing out, since it was like all blue, like right at the roots, and now it's like blue about starting back here, I got some comments like, your hair is turning brown. Like, not that my hair is like growing out. They're like, what's happening to your hair? It's turning brown. Like the blue is the natural color. And just the way that, like, I think it's just people who have never dyed their hair before. Like, the way they word it is like so funny to me. Be like, you're right. This weird brown color is appearing on my natural blue hair. Ah, man, this pink is just giving me life. Let me take a look at this. Ooh, magenta mohawk. That sounds like a good look. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesse. The blue isn't natural. I have some gray hair as well, to be honest. The blue covers it nicely. But I've had like the same streak of gray hair since I was like 25, like, and it's all like right in the front. I joke that it's all from the same really crappy boyfriend, who is no longer in my life, thankfully. But that's when the hair appeared, and I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna wake up one day and like my hair is gonna be like, we're done with you mistreating us, and it's all gonna be gray or fall out. And let me ask you guys, the YouTube, maybe we've just been hanging out too long, but the YouTube app is telling me that my resolution is dropping, so hopefully there's not a ton of issues for you all as well. Again, as I mentioned, I'm trying out some new software and some new things today compared to last stream, so it might not be optimal, but if there's something that you feel like I should be able to fix, just pop it in the chat and I'll see what I can do here. And I also apologize, I keep going to like the opposite side that I think I should be going to on the stream. Man, look at this toad. The pink looks so good. And what do we think about giving him a purple belly? That might be a good move. Yeah, like Rogue, sorry, switching gears. Yeah, like my gray streak is not quite as cool as Rogue. It's like very small and weird. But maybe someday it will be as majestic as Rogue. That would be a good look, actually. Red, I mean, even like natural red hair color though is like pretty brave in my opinion. Like I feel like you really have to have the right skin tone. But I guess you could say the same thing about blue. I guess if you were really pale and you had blue hair, you'd probably look like a corpse. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys are back. Man, bummer that it dropped. I wonder why. Why did that happen? There's probably just too many people watching the stream. 10 people. YouTube can't handle it. But I appreciate you all being here. It's kind of awesome. Like I feel like I'm in like this really special little world with like these people just cheering me on and like helping me create, and I hope watching this helps you feel inspired to create as well. I'd really like to just like occupy a space in the internet world where I encourage others to create and let other people know that it's okay to have bad days and it's okay to have bad projects. But, you know, just enjoy being a human and like grow from your experiences and be nice to other people and try to encourage them as well. You know, kumbaya and whatnot. Oh, so cute. So I think if I remember correctly, focus camera, focus. Trent used little beads to sculpt the eyes, and like they are just so perfect. Like that's such a good idea. Oh, the close-up on this toad. So cute. So cute. Okay. I should have, you know, I had this, which I put the antennas on, originally meaning to put the toad on there so I could continue to paint the like difficult spots and like spin it around. But it's occupied. It's doing something else right now and I don't really want to move those. But I do want to like briefly talk about like a concept for a monster that I had, because we're getting a little on in years here in terms of the stream. Not anyone's age. You all are young at heart, I can tell. But let's move these guys out of the way. So I was recently talking to some of my wonderful creative friends. Oh goodness. I feel like I'm just like crafting in a pile of chaos right now. But anyway, I was recently chatting with some of my wonderful creative friends about how cool that we think snails are. And I have this idea. I want to make this like monster, and I don't know if it's going to be a sculpture or just like a really like thought out illustration, but I do want to make some sort of like snail that is not a snail. That probably doesn't make sense, but like a snail that I either want the shell to be like really different and like not what a traditional snail would be, or I want it to have little feet. I was kind of thinking of like, imagine like a centipede that is also a snail. You know? Does that make sense? Maybe. I mean, it doesn't exist, but like maybe it makes sense. Oh. Philip, I'm glad to hear that you are feeling encouraged and artistically reinvigorated. That's awesome. Young at heart, old in liver. I think 2020 is aging all of our livers, probably. Jesse, I am normally like, well, I'm selectively messy, I think. Like, in terms of like throwing clothes around the house. Like, I'm really bad with that, honestly. Like, I'm someone who like dreads folding their laundry. But when I'm like crafting, and I think it's gotten worse since I've been filming YouTube videos, because like you trying to make things look pretty. Like, I am someone who normally stops and like puts everything away and cleans everything, and like sometimes it's to like my own disadvantage, because I'll like put paint away and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not done painting. But like, I feel like with the stream and like my current state of consciousness, I want to do like 3 different things at once, obviously. And there's just no way to exist without like having this chaos. But here, we'll move the chaos to one side at least. I think that will help me if I just corner it all. But yeah, I'll have to do like, I'm thinking about building a little backdrop, a little set soon. Since I've been, you know, pretty consistent with this YouTube stuff, I want to make it easier on myself and have like a set. So my mics and like my camera are in the same place every time. And well, let's get these guys in view. And I can give you a little tour of my horrible crafting space. Okay, so let's see. I want something to weight this down so it's not popping up on y'all. Cell phone? There we go. The crafting chaos. Here we go. So yeah, just trying to get set up so I can sketch out this snail concept. But yeah, normally I'm like, I don't exist in this chaos. But sometimes good things come from it. Cyborg snail. Oh, sounds so cool. But like, that's almost like a completely new idea in my head. Like, because a cyborg snail could like have this awesome like robo shell that's got like plates on it, like almost like a tank. Oh my gosh. Chris just on his Instagram, another reason you guys should go follow him on Instagram. He just posted this picture of this super cute little tiny tank that he got. And like, how cute would that be to like kit bash something like that into like a robo cyber snail. See, we're brainstorming. This is the YouTube stream where people get things done and come up with great ideas. That's our tagline. Oh, you guys like my pencil case? My marker case? Okay, so this is actually, I don't know if you guys have worked with the Micron pens before, but I recently discovered that other than like the standard tip, they have kind of like this sketch tip option, which is really nice. Like, I'm super into it. So here, let's think. So kind of like my idea for snail. I think normally I would start in pencil, but I want you guys to be able to see, so. Just kind of trying to get out the basic shape here. So like that's kind of a traditional looking snail. But I'm kind of like, I don't know, I had this vision for this like, just like a bunch of feet. And this is, again, this is just kind of a concept sketch. Like when I kind of figure out like the direction I want to go in, I will probably try to do this again. But I did the same thing with like that wizard that I made for Arcane Ugly. Since I made that video about drawing, I've been trying to be better about like actually committing to doing some concept art or to doing like sketches. And I know Jesse mentioned earlier that he drafts everything out in Photoshop, which is like kind of the same concept to me as like if I'm doing like a big project or like if I'm doing like a diorama. I have found it like increasingly valuable to spend some time sketching that out. Especially like it didn't really turn out the way I wanted, but the book nook I was working on, like initially the sketch I did, which actually is right here, was like super helpful in making sure I was on the right track and like thinking about all the elements that I needed. So it's just a really valuable tool when you're doing something complex or when you want something to turn out really awesome. So every time it rains, there are a ton of snails in my backyard. It's pretty cool, but you have to be super careful not to step on them because I don't know if any of you have ever stepped on a snail. It's the saddest thing. It is so sad. And I'm obviously like a huge animal lover. I don't want to hurt any animals, not even snails. Whew, crunching a snail. Break your heart. But I think the snail, I think this type of snail with feet, like he'd probably have teeth, I think. That's what I would want to see on him. But yeah, this is just an idea. Do you ever have an idea just stuck in your head for a while? And you just like, you want to get it out? That's what this little snail is. I don't know what his purpose will be eventually, but for now, it's just an idea that I'm sharing with you all. I actually already think it looks really cute. I know it's upside down, which kind of sucks. I'll start drawing things upside down. Yeah, these Prismacolor markers, these are like my favorite thing. They are so fun to use, so high quality, and like you can shade with them so easily. I mean, this was just like me just tossing on a little color to kind of make it pop a bit more. But the Prismacolor markers are amazing. The only caveat is there's something like, they're just outrageously priced. They're like, I want to say if you're like buying individual colors, they're like $5 to $7 per marker. Like, I don't know what they're made out of. Unicorn tears, probably. But they're still kind of worth it. And if you can buy them in a set, they are fantastic. I've had some for a while. They do dry up after a while if you're using them a lot or if you don't put the lids on properly. But I highly recommend them, and they're just so fun. So that's just a little doodle there, and I will be sure to post any updates on this concept, but we've been hanging out for a while now, so let me switch on back to this view. So I think I'm gonna probably start to wrap it up and say goodbye to y'all. But, you know, like I said earlier, in this dark year, like having you all jump on as patrons and support me has just been so amazing, and I cannot thank you enough. Like the other day, I was just kind of feeling down. Like we had to have Christmas basically alone this year. Like I couldn't travel to see any of my family, and I was just kind of reflecting on the things that like do make me really happy right now and I am really thankful for, and like the comments that I've gotten from some of you all and the comments I've gotten from just like people who watch my channel is amazing. So I'm really excited to hear that I've inspired some of you, and you guys have inspired me so much. Thank you so much for all your support. Chris, thank you for sending me the awesome box of goodies, and I'm so excited to when I can play in person again and use the dungeon tiles that you made. I also want to use those dungeon tiles to like use as like backdrops for some of my props and maybe some like product shots, so be on the lookout for those. But yeah, I hope you all are doing okay, and I hope that you all are using like arts and crafts and D&D and Warhammer and fantasy games to kind of escape from our daily weirdness and find some joy. So yeah, I hope you're all well, and like I said, I will be getting our patron Discord up in January, and I'm really excited to like continue to grow this community and like stay in touch with you all a little bit better and see what you're up to and share project ideas. So yeah, 2021 is already looking brighter, and I hope you all feel the same way. Let me catch up on some comments here and then I'll probably roll out here. Oh yeah, stepping on a snail is heartbreaking. Oh, that's so cute, buying 3 markers at a time. Cool. Well, thank you so much guys for watching. I'll show the snail one more time on my way out. Oh, too bright. Oh. There he is. We'll have to think of a name for him. I almost want to say like Herman, but then I'm like, no, that's the name you'd give a hermit crab. So let me know if you think of any good snail names. But yeah, this was super fun. I really love streaming so far. I mean, obviously this is only my second stream, but you guys make it really fun, and it's a really cool way for us to connect. Maybe I can just continue to improve it and figure out more ways to make it fun and interactive. So again, thank you for everything. This has been so great. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. I'm pretty bad at talking, but I'll say it again. Happy New Year. And I hope you achieve all your artistic goals in 2021, or you just go with the flow, you know? That's a good goal, as we discussed. Be safe and be well, and I will